What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. Ooh, you're down here to talk about Real Housewives of New York City. I haven't watched Beverly Hills yet. I don't know what happened. I meant to come down here and record New York yesterday, but then I was like, it was a lot. New York was a lot. I was like, this is too much. It is too much. It was a mess. That last episode was a mess. So you know by now that Bershan and what's the girl's name? Bershan and I'm trying to figure out where I want to park. I'll park right here in my parking space. Like I have a choice. I mean, I do have a choice, but I like it right here. I don't know why I like to be right here. Okay. I'll be next to the accessible parking because I know nobody's gonna pull up right here next to me. Well, the likelihood is not high that somebody is gonna pull up next to me. So the episode was crazy. They didn't show the fight. They actually showed it as a flashback, which was different. And so let's talk about it. I took a lot of notes, but I don't know if it's going to be that long. I was just like, this is a mess. I have some tweets as well. So let me pull those up because I was tweeting and watching, hey Scotty, Scotty's video was just about to come on. Y'all know what time it is? Okay, let's see. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. And let's talk about this episode. So, like I said, overall, the episode was very busy. Very busy. They start off where they left off. And Sonja is saying, I don't know why they brought this girl to the group. I don't know. That's why we brought the girl to the group. Luann's like, that's your friend. You need to get your friend together. Ramona is basically saying, you know, as an outsider looking in, I can see like what you see. Like I can see why you're like, this is crazy. But Sonja is our friend, and basically maybe we do enable her to a certain extent. That's basically what Ramona was saying in a nutshell. Is like, that's our friend. We love her. We know how she gets. We're mindful when she gets this way. So it's weird for me that they have these expectations on Bershan on how to treat Sonja when she's drunk, right? Also, Bershan has had a few drinks as well, right? You know, Ramona was like, she's not as strong as us. You know, she's, I guess, this little delicate flower that's having a lot of issues. And so, you know, they really do. Ramona really basically said they just really enable her to an extent, right? Bershan said it's too much. Y'all baby her. Then Ebony and, you know, Luann got up and left. Everybody was just so outdone. They had to get up and leave. And Ebony was on the elevator with Luann. And as she got off the elevator with Luann, she said, I gave her all the black extra credit points that I could give her. And I've learned with this group that you need to listen. That's what Ebony K. Williams said. You want me to say what she said again? She said she gave Bershan all of the black extra credit points that she could give her, and that she's learned with this group that you have to listen. She said that. Ramona says, you know, it's basically like a fresh pair of eyes on this group, and she just called it how she saw it, and the people didn't like it, right? Talking about Sonja's behavior, talking about how she's just so blah, 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 blah. What are you going to do? The next day, Leah is on the phone with Luann, and she lets Luann know that Bershan and Sonja got into a fight. They were both drunk. They were trying to talk to each other. Bershan had come down to Leah's room to get a melatonin and ran into Sonja. And when they're down there, they show the flashback. Bershan is talking and Sonja is talking, And then Bershan says, I love her. She's drunk. Baby, when she says she's drunk, that's when Sonja went like, what? What did you say? What did you say I was? What did you say I was? And she says, I love you. You know, Sonja, don't start. Like, I feel like Bershan was trying to de-escalate it until Sonja put her finger in her face. And then it went crazy. Sonja gets upset and she's telling Bershan, I don't even know you. I don't even know you. I'm fucking real. You can't tell me who I am. And then she puts her hand in her face. And then Bershan said, get your hand out of my fucking face. Bershan snapped. Like when the hand went in her face, she snapped. And then Leah is trying to break them up. She's worried about them hitting her nose because I guess she just got her nose done. And so even the producers come in. And then at one point, Sonja breaks the fire extinguisher glass, the case, right? She breaks the glass on the case and she gets upset. So everybody's like, you can't say that to her, Bershan. You just met her. Luann was like, yeah, she sticks her nose in everybody's business. For a life coach, she's pretty fucked up. Really? So to me, I felt like it was really messed up. And let me see if I've got, and then they show Bershan in the next shot doing jumping jacks and doing her affirmations. Like, whatever happened last night, this is a new day. I am Bershan. I am great. I am an influencer. Whatever she was saying, honey. She was saying her affirmations, doing her jumping jacks. I was like, yes, Bershan, new day. Honey, it's a new day. I love that. So they're still like doing the small talk between Bershan, or talking about Bershan. And I really don't like the way that they are framing it. Ebony, yeah, you know, I really hate that Bershan put herself in this situation. I really tried to give her all the black extra credit points that I could give her. What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense to me. And I don't like it when black people do that. I'm sorry. I would rather you say we're all the same than to talk about me. I would rather that happen. I would rather you sit at a table and say, I'm so tired of this, we're all the same, than you talk about me to Luann. I didn't like that at all. Now that's what I'm talking about, staying on code. I didn't like what Ebony did. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like it. And maybe it's, and then for Ebony to act like she's just this established friend in this group when just an episode ago you're still trying to figure out if these bitches are white supremacists. But now all of a sudden you gave her all the black extra credit points. Girl, shut up. Bershan, just sit down and get to know us. You know, like you do in second grade. Ebony, what are you talking about? Like, that was crazy to me. Anyway, so Ramona comes in, Leah fills her in, and they say that Bershan was antagonizing her. And they basically just said that they need to have an intervention with Sonja. They need to talk to her about her drinking. And then Leah makes it known, like, you know, even though Bershan didn't help the situation, this is not an isolated incident. This is not something that happened because of Bershan. It is because Bershan just so happened to be that person. Someone online felt like Sonja has misdirected anger and she really wants to take it out on Ramona and Luann. And what Bershan did was she talked the shit that Luann and Ramona talk about her, but just to her face, right? So that's what somebody else was saying. Like, Luann and Ramona do the same shit Bershan does, but Bershan was just open with it. Luann and Ramona don't do that to Sonja's face. So Sonja probably had a flashback, like, out of all these women, you know, I'm trying to make new friends with you, and you're talking about me the way these bitches talk about me. So that might have been the thing that set her off, right? So we get into that a little later. Ramona and Bershan, they go have a conversation because Luann tells her, you need to go talk to your friend and you need to tell her how she needs to approach us. I really don't like the way that Luann was positioning herself in this thing. I didn't like it at all. I was like, Luann, you're whack. Like, I felt like it was messed up, that the way that they were acting, like Bershan needed to follow this code of ethics when Sonja becomes drunk. Everybody be careful what you say when Sonja is drunk. Bershan doesn't know that. And Bershan was also drunk. So it's like, you're saying, oh, she was antagonizing her. She was this, and she was doing this, and she was doing that. Sonja was doing the exact same thing. They both were drunk, right? Bershan later tells us she didn't have as much to drink as Sonja, right? I don't think anyone ever has as much to drink as Sonja, but she was drunk as well. So I'm like, you're trying to rationalize with two drunk people and trying to tell one drunk person, don't antagonize this drunk person, and she's like annoyed with the other drunk person's behavior, but at the same time you want her to be quiet about what she's witnessing because it might hurt Sonja's feelings, and Sonja could break glass, and somehow, some way, Bershan was the cause of that. No, this is not an isolated incident. Nobody's going to tiptoe around Sonja and her drunkenness. Nobody's going to do that. And people are going to call shit out. And when you do have a new set of eyes in the friend group, they're like, this is what y'all be putting up with? This shit is crazy as hell. Ain't nobody going to say anything? This shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Bershan and Ramona have a sit down. They go into Ramona's room, and she's like, I had told you earlier about aggravating her. And she says, well, it did not escalate until Sonja got in my face. And she got real close to Ramona to show her how close she got. And she says, in my culture, in black culture, you cannot do that. You can't do that. And she went too far. She took it too far. I would never get in someone's face the way she got in my face. So while y'all are trying to blame Bershan for Sonja's behavior and reactions to things, she was also in this woman's face talking crazy. And she comes from a culture where if you get in my face, my response is to get back in your face. I might have to lay you out because now you are posing a threat. And if anybody's going to survive this, it's going to be me. At the end, the one who's going to be standing, goddamn, it's going to be me. Okay? So just the FYI. And she says, I do want to apologize to the group. The grandma comment was really just an expression of girls being bored. You guys are boring. You guys are not doing anything. Y'all acting like old grandmas. And she says, I just got familiar with new girls, and I realized we had so much fun over the summer. I thought that these girls were an extension of you, and I could see that they're not, right? I really like that conversation because she is a life coach and she has a sense of awareness. She could say, I got too familiar too soon. And I said things that were probably what I would say in my other friend groups, and I can't say in this friend group. So I realize that now, and I do want to apologize to everybody. So shout out to Bershan for that. Leah and Ebony have a conversation. Ebony says she's shocked that the women were fighting because they're classy, but she wanted to know how's the vibe going to be with Bershan. And Leah lets her know, I'm not worried about Bershan. I'm really worried about Sonja. I'm not worried about Bershan at all. Ebony was, though. And then, Ramona and Sonja are having their conversation. She goes and checks on Sonja. Sonja is still in her robe. She ain't washed her face. She's drinking coffee. She's trying to get herself together. And she's like, last night you mixed cheap wine with Bershan's insults. It's not going to come out well. I'm trying to see what other thing did Bershan say to insult them. Y'all are some grandmas. Okay. So when they were done getting dressed and they're walking to the lobby to go sit down, I guess it's for brunch or breakfast. I don't know what they were eating, but, Ramona tells Sonja, you need a pharmaceutical psychiatrist. Period. You do. And even the lady at the seance told, that's great that you're seeing a healer. We love that for you, but you need somebody with some letters behind their names to help you, my dear. Okay, so if you can find a healer who is also a clinical psychiatrist that has a DEA license that can write you a prescription, That's what you need, okay? Find that. Because, girl, that's what you need, okay? It's not funny, but it is funny. Like, girl, you need a psychiatrist, okay? I do want to see the whole fight because I do not trust the way white women retell stories when black people are involved. And that's just what it is. Y'all have a history of, like your little fabrications. They get a little funky. So I would like to see the fight myself. I'm not going to believe Leah's retelling of the story, and I'm not going to believe Sonja's retelling of the story, right? Luann was talking about, Bershan clearly doesn't know that was not the right time to talk to Sonja. How is that Bershan's responsibility to know when and when not to talk to Sonja? She doesn't know that Sonja turns into a goddamn truck driving sailor when she gets drunk and gets violent. She doesn't know that. Like these expectations of Bershan in terms of, tiptoeing around Sonja, I thought was unfair. I didn't think it was fair for them to have those expectations of her. Was she a little bit too familiar? I don't think calling people grandmas is too familiar. I thought that everybody understood what that means. Like, you guys are boring, you washed, you staying at home, y'all are not having the fun, right? But like Luann's point, she says, you pumped us up like we were these party girls. You probably did that. And so Bershan came into the group thinking she was going to have, clip and turtle time. She thought she was going to have that kind of fun. And half of the girls are sober. The other ones are not, I don't know. I've never seen Ebony drunk. She be drinking all the time, but I guess she dips out when she has a little bit too much to drink. But now these girls are boring. And so saying that they're grandmas, I don't see why anyone would be insulted by that when you guys are really grandmas. You out here acting like grandmas. I saw Ebony try to sit next to Sonja when they sat down at this little restaurant. I guess she was trying to kiss her ass. But Luann was like, come and sit around here. There's enough seats over here. There's not enough seats over there. Come sit over here. So she goes around. Sonja says that Bershan should have apologized by now. It was awkward. They saw each other at the elevator. Bershan had forgot her purse upstairs. On the way to the dinner, Bershan forgot her purse upstairs, and she saw Sonja and Ramona at the elevator. She didn't speak to Sonja. She just said, okay, I'll see you guys, down in the lobby when we get down in the lobby. So anyway, so they're sitting down having their dinner or whatever. Bershan goes, I just want to address everybody. I'm a little emotional right now. And basically just said, I got too familiar. I didn't have boundaries with you all. And, I said things that I felt like, I say these things with my girlfriends, and, I was just too familiar with you all. And, I wanted to apologize to you all. And the grandma comment, Luann tried to figure out, well, it seemed like you were directing it towards us. Why are you so insulted by being called a grandma? Why? Like, at any day, Noelle or Victoria can have kids. You can be a grandma. They're old enough. You are grandma age. Your children are able to have children. You can be a grandma. Okay. So I don't know why she was just like, it just seemed like, you were directing it towards us. And Bershan was like, I wasn't directing it towards y'all. I was just saying the whole table, y'all acting like some grandmas. So it's just miscommunication. And she says, I might not remember everything, but, because they were drunk. That's the thing. It's like, I'm apologizing for my behavior. I was drunk. I got too familiar with you all. I didn't have, clear boundaries, and I just went a little too far. So, Sonja says, you betrayed my trust. And it wasn't what you were saying. It was really how you were mimicking me that I was offended by. Because Bershan was like, you doing all this? That's what she was doing. So Sonja didn't like the way she was being mimicked. And then Sonja said something, or Ramona said something, and Sonja was like, Ramona, shut the fuck up. And everybody's looking like, girl, okay, this is enough. Like, you're angry. What are you so angry about? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like the way that they were acting is like, you have these expectations of Bershan, but you have a clear understanding that Sonja is off her rocker. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, it's not my business to put anybody down. I didn't want to put anyone down. And I take full responsibility for that. And her and Sonja hug, and Sonja's like, I'll do it again. I'll get in your face again, girl. And she was like, I can forgive and forget, so her and Bershan hugged it out or whatever. And then you notice that Sonja was like, you're bigger and stronger. Those are the microaggressions, right? Bershan is bigger than and stronger than Sonja. How? Have you seen her lift any weights? How do you know she's stronger than you? How do you know she has the strength that you are perceiving that she has? She's bigger and stronger than you, Sonja. Girl, shut up. You over here breaking glasses and stuff. I'll lay her out. I'll do it again. That's what she was saying. She was like, well, let me just tell you something. Don't get in nobody's faces like that, because you might get laid out. So you got to be careful. You just don't do that. And she told her, Bershan told her, don't do that again. So anyways, they get down to the lobby to go to the seance, and Sonja's letting everybody know she's not new to this. She's gone through the spirit realm before and all of this other stuff, right? Once they get there, she orders an espresso martini, right? They tell Ebony to leave Bershan company because they're going to do this like little mini intervention with Sonja to let her know that they're concerned about her drinking. And so they all sit down. It's Sonja, Ramona, Leah, and Luann. And Bershan and Ebony stayed behind, right? In order to get Sonja's attention, Ramona takes Sonja's drink, right? So when she was like, oh, Ramona comes over, she goes, oh my God, your hair is so pretty. Mind you, Ebony was the one who was playing in Sonja's hair. So she takes her drink, and she goes off to the side, and Sonja's still having a conversation, and Ramona's trying to get her attention. She was like, oh girl, you're doing the old bait and switch, whatever. And then she was like, okay, I'm coming. She was like, we need to talk to you. So she was like, okay. So now Sonja is looking for her drink, and she was like, oh, that bitch took my drink. Where's my drink, bitch? You think I'm stupid? What do you think, I'm 12? And she goes, no, you're 14. She was like, come over here and have a conversation with us. So they sit down, and she was like, I was having a nice moment with Bershan. Her and Bershan were really like having what seemed to be an engaging conversation. And she was like, she was going to level me last night. Here she is again. Like, she's so scared of this big, black, strong black woman, right? So they sit down, and Leah says, it would be irresponsible for us not to let you know that we have, that your drinking you're going to get hurt. All the drinking that you're doing, you're going to get hurt. Sonja explains to them that when she's out with her girls, that's when she, ties one on them. She gets beside herself because she feels it's a safe place to let loose, right? And she's always said that throughout the years. And she says, I don't go out, I don't drink alone, I don't do this, I don't do that, da 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 da. And so the other girls in their confessionals are like, yeah, right, we don't believe that you don't socialize, you don't go out and have drinks, Sonja. But Sonja feels like when I'm around my girls, I can just go let loose. But now it's becoming dangerous. That's the problem. It's becoming dangerous to everybody. You around here breaking shit. And so Leah basically says, nobody cares about you being drunk. It's the fact that you get mad. At least be a happy drunk, right? She reminds Luann, you been drunk. You be falling down in bushes and shit. You know how people do when you start telling them. Luann said, this is not about me, this is about you. And I actually got arrested for less than what you did. Let me remind y'all what Luann got arrested for. Disorderly intoxication, resisting arrest, battery of an officer, and making a threat against a public servant. And you done much less than what Sonja did. And what she did was actually break the glass on a fire extinguisher case. Girl, what are you talking about? You are delusional. How would you sit there across from Sonja and tell her, I'm so concerned because I got arrested for much less than what you're doing? Girl, you got out of a police car after being apprehended for your public drunkenness, and then you got out of the handcuffs and ran. I don't even see evading on here. So what much less that you did, much less than what Sonja did, girl? You sound crazy as hell. So they were like, just open. She was like, you need to be open to the channels of communication as our friend. She was like, I have open channels of professionals. That's what Sonja said. Thank you. Ebony and Bershan was like, she's finding her voice and this and that. So she was like, we tried. That's what Leah said. We tried. We tried. And Luann said she doesn't want her to wake up, have a wake up call and be and wake up in a gutter somewhere. So that's it. That was it for that. So they had the seance. As soon as they form a circle, something off the wall falls down. You would have thought Leah was about to die, honey. The way Leah was screaming in there, you would have thought she was about to die. Sonja, she's all cool. Yeah, that happens. That happens. That happens sometime. Because Sonja, she's been involved in the spirit realm. Okay. Bershan, the reader, they asked, can I read you? And she's like, yeah. They compared Bershan to a goat going up a hill or whatever. It didn't seem like it resonated with her too well. Luann, what came through for her was this male uncle figure. And then I guess some guy she's dealing with is moody. And they said for her to go her own way, and it's going to be a loss for him. And for Leah, her grandmother came through. The person was like, she seems like she's resistant. She was like, yeah, because my grandmother probably would not agree with the seance at all. So she's coming through, but she's resistant and coming through. I guess that's to just show her, that she does not agree with what's happening. But she says, it looks like you're studying Judaism, and it's going to be the structure that you need. And she is actually studying Judaism. So for Ebony, her grandmother came through. She says this woman has an attitude. She is proud. She's like a second mother to you. You need to carry on and be the strong person. You have a message for women. I'm sorry, but the way that Ebony emotes is very fake to me. It's a fake. It is so fake. I'm like, I want to be like, oh my God, her grandma came through. But when she starts that crying and she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh, yes, it is. It is. She says she's very grateful that her grandmother came through. Sonja, a man, her dad, comes through. He apologizes. He was an alcoholic. He didn't know what he was doing. And when the lady tells her, whatever is going on, everybody realizes that Sonja's father was an alcoholic. So we have Ramona's father was an alcoholic, Luann's father was an alcoholic, and now Sonja's father is an alcoholic. A lot of them didn't seem to know that her father was an alcoholic, or she doesn't speak too much about her traumatic upbringing. And Ramona says, yeah, we had, both of us had a lot of trauma growing up, and who wants to talk about that? So we don't talk about it a lot. Also, the way that Ramona emotes is also, it seems disingenuous to me. It seems fake. I know people cry. There's no right way to cry, but from where I'm looking for me, from my eyes, I know you and I do not have the same eyes, but from the eyes that I have, Ramona and Ebony, the way that they show emotion seems very inauthentic to me. It just seems very fake. I don't know. The medium tells tells Sonja that she needs a professional. She was like, yeah, I'm dealing with a healer. She was like, not a healer, girl. I need you to get somebody with a PhD. That's what she said. I said, I know that's right. If you can find you a healer with a PhD, you lucked up, baby. I mean, in a therapist role, somebody who has the letters and is also a healer, so that's perfect. Like, you hit the jackpot if you can get one of those. Ramona, her brother comes through. He was self-destructive, lived on the edge. I don't know if it sounded like he probably had some mental illness. Her brother was lost. He just died. They were like, did this just happen? He just died like 2 weeks ago? She was like, no, 2 years ago. And she was like, he seems like he's lost, but he's okay. So I don't know if he's just roaming around or whatever, but Ramona was like, he was in a lot of pain and I tried to help him. And you know, I couldn't help him, and I had to just, you know, back away from him because I couldn't help him. He wouldn't let me help him, and I tried and he wouldn't. So Ramona was, you know, upset about that, and Sonja was comforting her. And then everybody realized that Leah had her, I looked like a Chanel dress, but she had her dress on backwards this whole time. She was like, it looks cute backwards. She had the zipper in the front. I was like, this bitch is a mess. There's two sides with Bershan, right? The fact that she's aware to know, like, I didn't have boundaries. You know, when you first come into a friend group, this is how I, like, at work. Remember at work when somebody new would start and they would come in and they would act like they're just so familiar with everybody and talking to people, and it's like, you don't really know people. Why are you so familiar? Like, those kind of people I've always been leery of those kind of people. So maybe Bershan was giving off that vibe, like, I'm familiar with you guys, I can say whatever I want. I didn't draw the right boundaries. I can agree with her with that. However, what she said wasn't so bad, and I don't think that it was fair for them to place these expectations on Bershan with how she should relate to Sonja when Sonja is drunk. I don't think that that's fair. Like, the same way she's not familiar with you guys, and, you know, being able to say you guys are grandmas, is the same way she's not familiar with the way that Sonja behaves. So why have these expectations? Well, she knows that's not the right time to talk to Sonja. Luann, Bershan doesn't know that. She doesn't know that that's the wrong time to talk to that lady. She doesn't know that. She's just going off, and like Ramona said, I understand the expression grandmas. I get it. I know that from the outside looking in, this looks crazy as hell. But that's our friend, and we get funny about our friend. And I get what they're saying, but these expectations, and she's this big and bad and all this other stuff, I didn't like the way that Luann was. I don't know. I'm looking at Luann real funny right now. I don't know. The jury's still out on that bitch. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. I was going to talk about Beverly Hills. I'm going to go back to the house and watch it, and then we'll talk about it later. All right, take care of each other. Peace.